welcome back to episode 3 of a Lazy Sunday podcast. I'm really happy to be talking to you today. My name is Kay and I am the dyer behind Lazy Sunday Yarns. My Etsy shop will be linked down below along with my personal and my business Instagram account where you can keep up to date with me there. I'm coming to you from Cornwall, England, where it is nice and sunny outside. I am drinking yogi tea, black chai, one of my favourites, nice and simple, and just have a little splash of milk in there. I'm hoping you can hear me better today. The camera and the setup have changed. I upgraded my phone and it's got a much better camera than my iPad, which I was filming on before, does. Hopefully the camera is a little bit clearer and the audio is a little bit clearer as well. I've got a few things to share with you today. I have a couple of FOs, a couple whips, a new whip, and some purchases to show you as well. So let's just jump into it, I guess. My first FO is my Jodi Shawl by Ho Hilo Kate. It's finished, it's off the needles, it's, whoops, nice, and let's see if I can get sort of like the width of that, not all in there, but I'm obsessed with it. It's so snuggly. I was going to wear it to podcast today, but it's a little bit warm, but in the winter it's going to really like snuggle up nice. Tuck that little bit of hair in there. Yeah, it's going to be really nice and snuggly in the winter with a big coat. So the yarn that I used was from Little Mouse House. Hang on. So the yarn that I used for this was from Little Mouse House UK. Gorgeous yarn. It was on her Desire DK base, and no credit to me for the colour choices. It was her 3 skein kits. She put these 3 together herself. And they just work so nice together. So the top one I know is Shush Whisper. The bottom one is the middle one, sorry, it's Artificial Intelligence, and I can't for the life of me remember the name of the bottom one, but it's all on my Ravelry page and I'll try to remember to link those below. But it's just so nice and squishy. I was a bit of an idiot and I soaked it and then left it for a long time in the soak because I had a migraine, which I'll get into later, and forgot about it, so it has felted ever so slightly, but not the yarn. That wasn't the yarn's fault, that was entirely my fault. So, but it's fine. It's not, I don't know if you can see that, you can still see sort of the stitches, and it's not felted too much, it's just made it that little bit warmer, that little bit more snuggly. So in the winter time I'll keep nice and warm with this around me. So my next FO was a very quick project and I would highly recommend because it was really fun to do as well. I'm going to try and put it on without making a big mess of my hair, but we'll see what happens. So my next FO is my Bis Bis Beret. It's a pattern by Sari Nordland. Again, hope I'm not saying that wrong. If I am, please feel free to correct me in the comments. It was such a nice pattern to work with. I really, really enjoyed it and I didn't want to put it down or want it to finish. And the sad thing is, I finished it really quickly. Sad because I didn't want it to finish. It's a really nice quick project. I would recommend it. So let's take it off, hopefully without ruining the not so great hair today. So I did, because of my giant head, have to block it quite aggressively. But it's just, I'm used to it. It's what happens when I knit hats for myself. It's why I don't often knit hats for myself. There is the hat. It's nice. Obviously it's a beret, so it's quite flat, but it had an I-cord bind off. I'd never done that before. It's a paid for pattern, so I don't want to give too much away. But if you haven't done any of these techniques before, she breaks them down really nicely, and it's really good, I think, beginner's pattern. And you get such a nice effect, a nice little hat at the end of it. So, and it didn't take up much yarn. I used my own Copper Boom colourway and I held the sock base and my mohair base together to get this like lovely fuzzy halo, and I'm obsessed with the colour. I was worried for a while that it wouldn't suit me, and some of you might say that it doesn't, but I'm happy with it. I think I will get a lot of wear out of that. Not at the minute though, because it's too warm. I'm making too many warm projects for the summer. But and the one summer project I am making is going relatively slowly, so which you will see in a second. But I yeah, really enjoyed it, and everything. I think it looks quite nice with my dungarees today, actually. Just can't seem to get it to sit properly today. My hair is the problem, not the hat, my hair. It's always the problem. No, we'll take it off, it's fine, it's fine. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I would recommend, and it was super quick. I finished it in like 4 days. So that's all my FOs, which I'm quite pleased I have any actually, because I've been a bit under the weather the past 2 weeks, which we'll get into later. But I will talk next about whips. Let's start with my socks. I showed you that I have one finished sock in my blueberry waffle socks for my other half for his birthday, going quite slowly, but it's fine. There's the finished sock, and I've got considerably further on the, sorry, getting the page up, got considerably further on the second sock. I think last time you saw it I was about here, and then I'm past the heel and I'm just working on the leg now, and I've got to do a total of 19 repeats from this little light bulb marker here. So, and that is just my little, can you see that little kitty cat? Let's see if it will focus. No, doesn't want to focus. A little kitty cat in a teacup stitch marker, and that was from Duck and Rabbit on Etsy. It's so cute. I got a set of 3. And yeah, linked below. Everything linked below. You know the drill. Everything's linked below. So I'm hoping that next time I talk to you, this will either be finished or so close to being finished that it might as well be. So fingers crossed. I'm having to slug away at it a little bit, and this is why Kitty is on here to tell me off when I haven't done any. So at the end of the day I move it up, and then if the next day I look at it and it's got no stitches on it, he tells me off. That's why he's there. He looks all cute and happy in his cup, but he's quite mean when I don't do the work, so. And that is being held in an acquisition, but I'll show you now, because why not? And there's 2 of these in my Amelia Joy or Amelia X Joy. I don't know how she would prefer me to say it project bag, and that is I think it was the sock wedge bag. And it's the bunnies and Toadstool. I just look at the little bunny. Having a bunny means everything I get has bunnies on it, and everything people give me has bunnies on it, and I am totally okay with that fact. But this bag is so lovely and well made, and it's like squishy, but not too squishy. It still sort of holds its shape, and it's nice to have a proper project bag, because I held off buying project bags for so long, and now I'm a total convert. Just have another sip of tea, hang on. So, which takes me on to, let's show you my other Amelia Joy bag. And this one I thought was going to be the same size as the other one. My fault, not the website's fault. Totally, it's always my fault. It's always my fault. This is the Frida bag, and you can see it's so huge. Look at those little, look at the little Frida Kahlos. I think they're so cute, and the little monkeys. And I thought it was appropriate on my Frida Kahlo bag to put on my Feminits pin that I showed you from last week. I love it. And then in this bag is my Ripple Butt Shorts by Jessie Mead Designs. You might know her from her Ripple crop tops, or her like everyone and their mother and their sister seems to be knitting one of those crop tops, and one of those will be cast on after these shorts, because I want a new little knitted pyjama set. And that was inspired by oh, I've forgotten her name, I'm so sorry. Liza. And that was inspired by Liza Makes. She has a new knitting podcast on YouTube, and she's just so sweet, and she's knitted herself some pyjama shorts, and I needed some immediately, and I think it's a great way to get through stash, because they're pyjamas. Who's looking at them other than you and like my other half? But he's seen me in much worse, so it's fine. But I am using Rico Creative Melange, hopefully I've said that right, DK for these shorts. I've done the sort of longer, the back, the booty short rows. Give room for my big old booty. And it's the yarn I've had for a while, and I love it. The colours are gorgeous. And it was a gift from my friend Rachel, who is RDC Crochet on Instagram. And it's gorgeous, but it's never quite found its project. It's just always not been quite right, or not what I had in mind. And then as soon as I watched the Liza Makes podcast where she made her shorts, it clicked, and I needed to cast them on like as soon as possible, which is why I think I have 2 finished objects this time, because I was like, as soon as I get something off the needles, the shorts are going on. So I just rushed through the closest finished ones. And I think they're gonna be so snuggly. I've made a few changes because the Ripple Butt Shorts are supposed to be ribbed and quite tight fitting, and I was looking for something a little bit more slouchy. So I have ignored the rib, and ignored the rib on the like main body of the shorts, and after the ribbing on the waistband, I didn't increase round to take me up a size, so hopefully they'll be a bit looser fit and a bit slouchy, and they'll make some nice cozy pyjamas. So they're knitting up quite quickly, so maybe I don't think they'll be done in 2 weeks. I think they'll be almost done in 2 weeks. I'm on the increases now, so it's a bit of a slug, isn't it? It takes a while to get up to your stitch count. And then my last whip, held in my Kelly Connor Designs, because I kept saying that wrong last week, Feminist bag, which is holding up strong, is this is the one I think I've made the most progress on. Hang on, it's 50. Sort out the sleeve. I've been talking for a long time because that's going cold now. Sorry. Last time you saw it, I was here, and this is my little Toadstool. I don't know if you can see that. There we go, little Toadstool Progress Keeper, and that was from Diana Cyan Crafts. Hopefully I'm saying that right again, will all be linked below. That was on Etsy, and they are so sweet. And I hadn't quite, was almost about to separate for the sleeves, so now I have separated for the sleeves. And I've done my second stripe, not quite finished the sleeves on that stripe, and started my third cream stripe. And then I'm not sure, at the minute it's coming to about like my waistline, I think. So I think the pattern stops on the third bold colour stripe. And I was thinking about doing another row of the cream to make it a bit longer, but I'm not sure now. I might leave it as the pattern says, or at least the pattern image shows. But we'll see what happens. But mostly it's just sort of knit until it's done now. Not sure about the sleeves. Might be some little bits on the sleeves, but who knows. And that is being knit in Stylecraft Bamboo Naturals. And again, all of the information for that is in my project page. So I'm quite enjoying that project now because it is just so like, it's going quite quickly because and the bamboo cotton is so smooth, and it's got a nice tension to it that when you're knitting it, it flows so nicely. So it has been one that I've struggled to put down. I've had to pull myself away from it to work on the other projects, just so I've got some more done to show you. And then the last things I have to show you today are some acquisitions. I got 2 skeins from, bear with me. I bought 2 skeins when if you follow Beehive Yarns on Instagram, she announced recently that she's moved away from Etsy and she has her own online shop now, which is very exciting. And when she launched that, I went on and snagged up some yarn as soon as possible. And it had come before I podcasted last time, but I hadn't opened the package yet, so I didn't show it to you, but I'm showing it to you now. And these are the beautiful, little bit out of my sort of comfort zone, because as you noticed last week, I tend to go for pink and more pink, but I thought it's probably a good idea for me to sort of steer away from that if I can help it. So I'm not just one big light. Have any of you seen the green lady? She's amazing, but everything she owns is green, and her hair's green, she wears green, her house is green, everything is green, and I'm heading towards the route of everything being pink for me. So I thought I would venture out and look at some other colours. So the first skein I got, and these are both in her Bordeaux base, which is a twist, high twist, 80% superwash merino and 20% nylon. And this is the Naiad colourway, which is just, I mean, look at those speckles, they're so gorgeous. And it's got some reds and browns and greens and greys and purples, and it's just so beautiful. And the other colourway I got was, which has hints of that grey and that blue in there, in the speckles, very faintly, but then it's got this sort of like rusty colour and this turquoisey tealy colour, and this is her tapestry colourway. And I thought they were both so gorgeous. And as these are on sort of a high twist merino nylon base, and I showed you last week from Joni Unravelled the 2 high twist yarns I got from her as well. And this one, Rocket Man, has some of those same colours. I don't know if you can tell. So I'm sort of thinking that maybe these, with some others that may or may not already be on the way, could go into, oh, this is really hard, could go into a little bit of a fade. Maybe I need something in between these, or in between. We'll see what the other ones look like when they get here, but I think that is going to be is it So Faded by Andrea Mowry, which I've been eyeing up for a long time. And the idea of that, she says, is to use stash, and I am very aware that I have bought new yarn to make it, but we won't talk about that, it's fine. And then the last one I bought, which was a bit of an impulse because it was a one of a kind and the only one, and a lot of people had it in its basket, so I decided to swipe it, is this beautiful purpley, reddy, speckly gorgeousness from Rosie's Knitting Shed. And I watch her podcast all the time, and her customer service was beautiful, and she's gorgeous and lovely, and I've been eyeing up her yarn for quite a while, so I was quite pleased. And when I saw that and it was the only one, I couldn't leave it. It had to come home and live with me. And that is pretty much all I've got to show you today, because I don't have any shop updates. And I would love to tell you that I've got loads of shop updates, but I've had a bit of a 2 weeks. I realised that during lockdown, usually I have like a coffee in the morning on my way to work, and then at work I'll have like 2 cups of tea. It's about all I can manage to have, and then I'll have a cup of tea when I get home, and that's it. That's all the caffeine I drink usually in a day. But in lockdown, I have my 1 coffee in the morning, and then I switch to tea as I normally do. But that 3 at most cups of tea turned into 4, 5, 6, cups of tea, and it has resulted in me lying in bed every evening just like wide awake, can't get to sleep. Why can't I sleep? What's going on? Why can't I sleep? And then you sit down and you think about it, and I'm consuming so much caffeine every day that obviously I'm not going to be able to sleep in the evening. So realised it, acknowledged it, decided to cut down on my coffee, go back to no more than 2 cups of tea a day was my limit. Has been pushed to 3 a couple times, but we won't talk about that. 1 cup of coffee in the morning, fine, that's perfectly fine. But what I didn't account for was the caffeine withdrawal. And I said earlier that I left that the Jodi Shawl soaking for too long and it felted because I had a migraine, and that's what happened. I got really unwell and I had a really bad migraine for like a good like couple days, and I was just out of commission, and then I could have died so young, except for I had new dye vats coming, and I wanted to wait for the new dye vats to come so I could wait, so I could do more and quicker and be more productive in my routine of it. And then so I got better from the caffeine withdrawals, and then the dye vats came. Great, can get some dyeing done tomorrow. And then I got a stomach bug, and I was out of commission for a good few days with that. So it was the past 2 weeks has been a little bit of a write-off. There's been a couple walks, there's been a couple naps, there's been a couple just plain old knitting days, and I've just been recuperating. So there is no new stock in the shop. I would like to say thank you because I've had my first sellout, and that is pancakes with Kiki, and I will be dyeing up more of that because everyone seems to love it so much, and I can understand why, because most creatives relate to Kiki on a very personal level. And I have some plans in the works for some more Studio Ghibli colourways, which I hope you will all love just as much, because was introduced to Ghibli by my other half, and they're just magical films and I love them, so why not share the love. What I have been doing with my 2 weeks is, like I say, a couple walks, and there will be some footage at the end of those, and I've been doing a lot of yoga and really enjoying it. Used to be quite strict with it, like at least a few yoga sessions a week, just at home, yoga with Adrian. I'm sure you all know and love her as well. But I was really good with it last year, and then Christmas happened and I just haven't jumped back on it again. And then the past 2 weeks I've really been like on it and enjoying it and doing it because I want to do it, not because I have to do it, which is really nice. And then the other thing I've been doing with my time is watching a lot of Buffy, rewatching Buffy. It's starting to infect my dreams. I'm having like stupid vampire nightmares, which are actually really funny when you wake up. But I'm loving that, and I'm sure you can imagine some Buffy colourways coming to you soon as well, because it's all my mind is now, and I can see vampires everywhere. So yeah, I've had I think that might be, no it's not, I thought the other half was coming home. He's out on a walk at the minute, giving me time to talk to myself into a camera for a little bit. And that's about it. I've got 1 week off from lockdown, and then next week I should be going back to work in the yarn shop, which it'd be really nice to get back, but I'm a little bit anxious because it's going to be such a different experience. It's not going back and jumping back into things and seeing all the same faces that I see all the time, and it's going to feel quite cold, I think, and like the social distancing is so, I understand it and I get it and I know we need to do it, and it's hard, difficult, and we're all struggling with it, I know. So but I'm not sure what that means for the obviously during lockdown I've had a lot of time to dye and podcast, and it's been really fun, and I've really enjoyed it, but I don't know what that means going back to work. I'm going to try and keep on top of it, but just bear with me. I might just have to find my feet a little bit. Thank you so much for watching, and if you liked the video, please give it a like because it sends joy straight to my heart, and subscribe if you want to know. I'm hoping to keep on a 2-weekly schedule with these videos, but like I say, going back to work, that might differ a little bit, so if you subscribe and click the little bell, you will be notified when a new video goes up. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.